Hey, Glenn with the Cactus Atlas here. Welcome. Today I'm in Goldfield, Nevada. It is cold. I was not expecting to see snow. This is part of a larger road trip that I'm doing, but I wanted to feature Goldfield because this town seems really amazing. It's a historic mining boom town from around the turn of the century, or I should say going from the early 1900s basically is what I'm saying when I say turn of the century. Really excited to explore this for the very first time and would love to have you join me. Look at this. When's the last time I had to clear snow from an informational sign? Okay, so I'm driving through downtown Goldfield, I believe, right now. Just looking for a place to park. I don't think there's meant to be parking here on the main streets. And those are like private neighborhoods over there. So just gonna scout around. There's the old firehouse. That's one of the old buildings. So quite a few cool looking buildings around here. So I was just kind of driving around and kind of stumbled upon this random little dirt intersection here in the town. An old little trading post and some cool rusted out vehicles. So I guess this is a nice little warm-up. Kind of overshot the town and I'm gonna head back down there now, but I'm glad I found this little gem back here. Well, this is pretty cool. This looks like a bottle house. The wall is made of bottles. I think on my adventure, I think I'm gonna see a couple bottle houses like that that I've read about on my overall journey, but kind of cool. Not sure if that's an original structure or not. Could certainly be. Looks like an old rickety building. I love these cars and the skeletons. I've seen other people's videos, so I think these have been here for quite a while. So along with being a historic town, this town has a lot of character too, I've seen. You can see some of the very decorative buildings here. Really artsy and fun. Wow, look at all those old signs. That's so neat. Have yourself a cold one. Get it? It's cold and it's ice. Well, kind of an interesting vibe here. It's just it's desolate. I've not seen a single tourist. It's probably because it's freezing out here. But seeing a town like this in the snow, that's just, I don't know, there's just something about it. So that's one of the main features here that people seek out, is this old Goldfield hotel. I believe they're actually ripping it out and renovating it. I saw some people doing work. It's not open to the public, but it's supposed to be very haunted. I think we can get a closer look there. Let's go see if we can peek in. I don't remember though what year this hotel opened. Sometimes they have the dates on the building, so I'll look. I'm assuming I'm in the very early 1900s, I'm gonna guess 1902 to 1907. I think 1907 was the height of this town when almost 20,000 people lived here. I mean, it's strange in a town broken and run down like this to see a building that pretty much dominates the skyline here. And if you look at the molding and everything, it looks like it was a nice building. Okay, so through the power of modern technology, I was able to get a digital map and some information about the historic markers. So now we can actually, before I really got into it, talk about a couple of these buildings that I saw right off the bat. So according to my information, this is an old assay office. This building was moved to this location after a 1923 fire. So all I can tell you, it didn't say in the pamphlet, this building is older than 1923, maybe even 20 years older than that. Who knows? But yeah, you can definitely tell this is an old building. All right, now that we have that information, let's hop back over here and read about this. This is Brown Parker Auto Company Garage. I think I see a marker on that one too. It was the first Ford dealership, or one of the first in the state of Nevada. I'm not sure the original date of the building, but it did mention that the building was rebuilt in 1923 after this fire that I keep reading about. So, big fire in 1923 it sounds like in this town. So I'm not sure if I said it earlier. I believe this structure was built in 1907, and in fact it was. I double checked that on the information, so this is over 100 years old. Can you believe that? Wow, but yeah, it just has an elegance to it. It's hard to describe without being here and seeing it. And yeah, that I believe is supposed to be haunted. I think some paranormal shows have filmed there, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, they have folks in there right now. I don't know if they're gonna renovate it or what they're doing, but they're construction workers, you know, tearing stuff out of it. And in the back, I actually saw a chute. So I don't know if they're gutting out the old stuff and I'm gonna touch it up, because that'd be really cool if they renovated something like that. I'll have to do some research. I'm peeking into the hotel. Look at the old floor in there, the old tiled floor. It's beautiful. It's really hard to see in here because the window's really dirty, but yeah, it actually still has some of its old charm, it looks like. Wow. We'll make our way over there. That looks like an old building. I mean, everything looks like such an old building. I mean, look at this old gas station here, or garage. Okay, so I looked this up. So Dahlstrom's Garage, apparently this was owned by a longtime family here in Goldfield. This building was built sometime in the 1930s. Apparently a very well-known mechanic in these parts. And it's not often that you get to see things like this that are the real deal. I mean, I'll be honest, I knew there were a few historic buildings in this town, but nowhere near the number that I have on my map. You need a full day here, I'm convinced. I think there's up to like 60 locations on the map I'm looking at, and I've only seen a handful so far. Sound horn for service. So what I found out about this one here is that this is another building that was relocated here in 1923, presumably because of the fire. Apparently this was used as a garage. I didn't get information about the original date of the building, so I'm guessing pre-1923. So this is another building that clearly doesn't need me to see anything to tell me that it's old. I'm gonna guess this is a school. Let's see if I'm right. Okay, so I was right about that. That is indeed a school. Goldfield High School, built in 1907. It looks school-like for some reason, doesn't it? And I just wish that you could go inside buildings like that. I need to start figuring out who to talk to get some exclusive access here. But let's circle around the back here and check it out. So far, I love this town. I had some expectations because I watched a couple of videos before I came out here to learn a little bit. Oh, there's a piece of the roof like flapping, a big piece of metal. Wonder if it's gonna blow off and decapitate me. Look at the old rusty gutter here. That's not even complete anymore. So I'd say so far today, the high school and the hotel are my current faves so far. Historic boomtowns rule. I love them. Well, this one needs no introduction. It announces itself. This is the 1907 Courthouse. Now this is something I'm not used to either, just ice. This is thick ice on the sidewalk, very slick. Okay, so I'm just gonna let you know right here, ice and vlogging do not mix. I almost took a tumble. So I don't know if I gave any information earlier, but really the basics of this town are in the very early 1900s. I want to say around 1900, mining boomed here, just like many other towns here in Nevada. And by 1907, I think this thing had seen its height. You're seeing evidence, most of these bigger buildings were built in 1907 when I think the town was probably at the height of its prosperity, and hosted over 20,000 people living here. And now look around today and you see like random people here and there, but this is a pretty booming town for that time. It's always really neat to just kind of like wander through towns like this and just, you know, like close your eyes for a moment and just try to hear the past, just the activity you would have heard, the people you would have seen back then. It's always fascinating to me. And my mouth is really cold, so I can't talk. I'd seen some pictures and video of this building. This might be one of my favorites, the one that I was looking forward to seeing the most. This old fire station. I saw some old photos with guys on like horse-drawn like wagons, like fire trucks, from maybe a similar angle. So it's like my imagination is trying to take me back to the past. Yeah, that is one of the coolest buildings in town, I'd say. An old-time fire truck there next to the firehouse. I don't know if these are original fixtures in this town or something brought here just to be displayed, but regardless, that is really neat. So this looks more like private residences, but there is a building here in the corner that looks old, so we'll go check that out, and then we'll head back down to the town proper. This one is known as the Thomas G. Lockhart House, built circa 1908. So Mr. Lockhart was one of the most well-respected mining pioneers here in the Goldfield district, apparently. So maybe that's why that house is pretty nice. One other thing that's hard to communicate via video are smells. I continuously smell just like the smell of old wood. You know, probably the smell of this house here. It's not an unpleasant smell, it just smells old. And yeah, I just catch faint whiffs of it from time to time. It's not like constant. Maybe it's all in my head, I don't know. So that does look historic to me. I think I see a plaque up there in that white column. Let's go up here. I'm always paranoid though that someone actually lives in these things because there's curtains, and this one looks like it's in good shape. Yep, that is another house. This one was built circa 1908 also. So a lot of the section here, virtually all the houses we saw were built in 1908. And then, you know, these brick structures like the hotel were 1907. So I'm guessing prosperity happened, people started investing in infrastructure in the town around 1907. You know, some of these nice houses, when people are making money, get built 1908. But it wasn't that many more years before things crumbled here economically and the town went bust. That high school just looks frightening for some reason. If anything screams haunted more, I don't know what it would be. Okay, this house, number 48, is said to have been built in 1905. One of the older structures I think we've seen today. Yeah, here you go. Just so you know I'm not lying to you. Not all the buildings have signs on them, but yeah, built circa 1905, adobe construction. Interesting, a sign says, "This site is under observation. It's dangerous, it's crumbling." Said the north-facing wall is crumbling. I believe this would be the north-facing wall. Or maybe over here. Yeah, I bet it was over here, because you could see they did some repairs on that. Well, what do you guys think so far? For me, you know, if you came here for like a educated tour, you're not gonna get that today if you haven't figured that out, because I'm just discovering this for the first time. But, you know, maybe it's fun to watch somebody stumble through something the first time. Goldfields Art Cars. Here are a couple art cars for you. Looks like a Volkswagen Bug stacked atop some kind of station wagon. You really gotta get up close and look to see all the fine detail, including this panda buried in the snow. Okay, so this is definitely amazing and one of the more creative things I've seen in a long time. I love this. Lots of beads. It has tons of junk in there, stuffed animals. It's kind of creepy. I'm just peeking around the corner and there's much more back here, including, I don't know what that is. And who doesn't like nice creepy baby dolls attached to cars? So you really need to delve deep into the microcosm of stuff just like plastered all over these things. It's one part humorous and one part disturbing and 3 parts awesome. But I have to be very careful when editing this, or when Amy edits this, because I saw a lot of very not family friendly rated X stuff intermingled in there. So, whoo, yeah. This gas station and building next to it look old, and I see a historic marker on one of them. So this one is listed as the old Esmeralda County service station. I want to say this one might be circa 1950s sometime, so not quite as old as some of the other ones, I think, but definitely has got a classic look and feel. Ah yes, I saw this when I passed in. These look like interesting things to check out, like old mining equipment. I'm assuming that's a steam-powered something or another. That is one large, whatever it is. Wow. Some old buggies. And that is absolutely a classic. That is really interesting looking. I've never seen anything quite like that. Some information on that. The 4-Wheel Drive Auto Company, Clinton, Wisconsin. Another really old looking train here with an old building behind it. Kind of a peculiar looking train, isn't it? A little small, but too large to be like a kiddie train. So I've done enough research to know there's lots of other things to do and see in this town that I haven't even gone to yet. And I'm several hours in. So the one lesson you can learn from me here is, if you are into this kind of stuff like I am, you want to budget a lot of time. I don't know if you want to say a full day, but if you really wanted to spend a full day here, I'm sure you could find ways, but easily a half day. Do yourself a favor and make time when you come here. So this is another 1907 piece of history here, built when the town was booming by a Mr. Ish, I believe, a mining pioneer, according to the information that I found. I'm gonna sneak up here and see if I can peek in. I don't know if anybody's home. It says you could rent these rooms. Ish House rooms for rent. Nobody appears to be home, but that looks pretty sweet. It's an old jukebox in the back, isn't it? And do you see the ghost? Oh my God, there's a ghost under the sheet. Yeah, I like that Ish House. That's pretty cool. That might be in my top 5 favorites of the day. I don't know the exact order, but something about that one I like. And just I wonder how packed this block would have been if you can go back 100 years or so, back to the 1907 time period. I imagine all of this was like real estate, packed with buildings and houses, and now just kind of a minefield of junk strewn about. Okay, this is awesome. I actually walked right by this, and this couple was walking up, and they actually did a double take and had to turn around and come back and get this. It's the Heisenberg Rv. Not sure how well you can see that off in the distance there. That's a head frame for one of the mines. I've seen many head frames off in the distance, so I don't know if those are relics from a time past or currently used head frames, probably old ones. I don't know if they use a lot of those in modern mining. So the only place that I've noticed that's open, the Dinky Diner. Check out those classic beauties. This looks like an old ambulance, maybe. That's my guess. What do you guys think? These certainly look old, and I do see some historic markers on them. All right, just another one that's a nameless frame house is all it says, built circa 1905. Yeah, this one definitely shows its age better than a lot of them. That's crumbling though. And another house that's in a state of arrested decay. I do see a marker on that one too, but I don't need a marker to know that that's old. Yeah. That one's cool. Look at the porch. It is just disintegrating. This is an old Shell station. You could actually see the word garage still painted up there. Okay, so this one was built circa 1930. I think it's called the Beats Garage. A local family owned it. This is a curious thing. It's like corrugated metal of some sort with a brick pattern on it. So I don't know if that is just kind of a decoration. I don't know if that would be like original or not. Okay, so across the street from the hotel, if you turn this way here, I just noticed these other old buildings that have the same kind of like stone walls. So there's just more to see, and I have to go look at it. I mean, this is one of those towns where it's like, at what point do you just say, hey, I gotta go? Wow, look at this building. Another really cool building. I believe I read this is also a 1907 structure. Just like the hotel and other ones we see that have this similar stonework on the outside. So the inside of this one seems somewhat preserved. I wonder if this is open. You could see one of the old timers sitting in there, relaxing. That looks like an old teller's booth. So yeah, this town is amazing. I don't know how many times I've said that so far, huh? More than I can keep track of, I think. Oh wow, you can actually see like the crumbled remains of something out there. I might cut back down that street heading back to the visitor center actually. So this ruin is from what was known as the Sideborn Saloon, I think, which was built around 1907 like most of these other buildings. So it says it's a reminder of how this was kind of the heart and center of the mining district. And all that's left now is an arch entryway. Okay, so I'm running out of time. I've been here for hours. You've seen it, wandering the streets, the nooks and crannies, and I've probably only seen about a third of the buildings I'm gonna estimate that are marked. There's a cemetery that I'm not gonna have time to see. I believe some museums. Not that a lot was actually open today, being a Monday, I assume. Yeah, I can't say good enough things about this town. I love history, mining history, the Old West. This place has got that vibe. One of the best relics of a town that I've seen, and a town that has lots of character. It's got it all. Try to drop by if you can. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and find us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I think these guys are exhausted from a long drive. I feel your guys' pain, guys. I feel your pain.